Alrighty, let's get going. This is one mouth, three different ways. I didn't realize these mouths were kind of SpongeBob-ish. The center one is, at least. The top one and the bottom one, not so much. So we are going to, let's see here, start off with the dimples. So our top mouth is kind of open. It's not really smiling. Maybe it's shouting, screaming something. So we need some dimples. Just going to duplicate that, flip it, and move it over to the other side of where the mouth will be. 4-pointed shape, diamond shape. Selecting all the top vertices, distributing them, then the bottom vertices, and distributing them. Even it out a little bit, not perfect, close enough. Now I want to kind of open the mouth up, make it kind of round. I don't want it to be sharp on the edges. Also don't really want it to be perfect. Sometimes I like to leave the stroke in place while I'm laying out the shape, but then I get rid of it. It's a little bit too round. Maybe make one side a little bit wider than the other, a little bit taller than the other. Now let's do the tongue. Just going to draw a rec in there. Give it a tongue color. Go ahead and get rid of that stroke. Hold down the shift key and pull out the control. I'm going to try to even that one up first. I'll have to even up the other one in a second. Kind of get it directly on the line. It's okay if it goes below the blackness of the mouth, but it shouldn't go above it. You shouldn't see any black down there. Now round the tongue out a little bit. Not necessarily a huge tongue. In this case, kind of a small tongue and a huge mouth. Now that I've widened it, I've got to even it out again. Now we're going to put just a little space at the back of the tongue, represent the crease in the center of your tongue. You could do this in a dark pink. Hold down the control key and pull over on the line while in node selection, and that will add the curves for us. You need to kind of slender that up. No, Inkscape, I don't need to do that. I just need to, there we go. Do some vampire-like teeth up at the top. We're about to change them into real teeth. This could be a vampire. We can leave them like that. No, I just want to just do them one at a time. I don't know if I want to leave them rounded. I think I've moved them square in the mock-up. Now I want to leave them rounded. Now we could leave that white up there, but when you start drawing the head or the face, if you give the face some color, that's not going to look right. There'll be a tooth growing out of the top of the mouth. We can clip it later on if we want to. That means we duplicate the mouth itself and then use it as a clip for the teeth. Now we're going to draw some freckles on top of the dimples. I was thinking more of the cartoons of the My Gang, of the Little Rascals. They had cartoons also. But I guess it is SpongeBob-ish. Maybe that's what it is. SpongeBob's kind of like a ripoff of My Gang. Resize them a little bit. You don't want them to be the exact same. I have the one on the outside of the dimple and the other one right centered on the dimple. So do another layer for our next mouth. This mouth is very similar, but it's going to be smiling. I see Inkscape does crazy stuff sometimes. I never use that functionality where you can only move the line across, the control point across the line. But Inkscape likes to do that. Of course, it didn't put the pads inside of the shape, or inside the layer. Dragging those out, make it a little bit more rounded. But we don't want it to be perfectly round. These are ruddy cheeks. They're right on top of the mouth, or the mouth is actually opening up into the cheeks. When you actually talk about cartoons out loud, they're kind of all monsters. Alright, duplicate it and flip it and drag it to the other side and line up the lines if you need to. I'm kind of happy with it, so I'm just going to pull those freckles, duplicate the freckles and pull them down, mess them up a little bit. Drag the group of the freckles up to the top one, duplicate it, and then flip it and drag it over to the other side. Same mouth, but now that it's open fully, the dimples are gone and the cheeks are visible. Once again, get rid of the stroke by holding down the shift key and hitting the white square with the X in it, and then fill it with black. Set the fill to black. So now we see the chin more. I probably would end up putting the chin on the top one also, or the crease of the bottom of the lip that kind of represents the start of the chin. Similar tongue to the one above, but this time the mouth is open and we're seeing more into the mouth, so we see more of the tongue. Now I'm holding down the control key in node mode and pulling that down to where it's a smile. We want to make sure it's a smile. I will probably come back and add an upper lip on this also, a very shadowy, faint upper lip. And yeah, the teeth are going to be different this time. Definitely making them square down here. It's the same mouth, but up above there's supposed to be a little bit of shadow on the teeth, I guess. Down here, same teeth, but they're not as, or they're more visible because the mouth is open more. So there's no real shadow. New layer, drag it to the top. Now we're going to do the shut version. So yeah, I'm doing kind of reverse dimples here to make it look like a grin. Just duplicated it, flipped it, and moved it to the other side. Filled it and turned the stroke off. You can see how the bottom mouth can be easily animated. And it will simply be flipped over to one of the other two. I am going to show that bottom of the lip again. This kind of leaves the realm of SpongeBob. And now just going through, and I'm going to spend a little while, not in the video, I'm taking the dimple, I'm taking the freckles down. But I'm probably going to spend the next 10-15 minutes after this video just tweaking it. I see little things I want to do here and there. Nothing really needs a tutorial, but there it is. If you got something out of this, like and subscribe. There will be more. All glory be to God, and I will see you in the next video.